I'm not one of the greedy kind. All of my wants are simple. I know what's on my mind. I'm not resting until I find what would make your eyes glisten with joy. Now listen, big boy. I wanna be loved by you, just you and nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you alone, boo-boo-be-doo. I wanna be kissed by you, just you and nobody else but you. I wanna be kissed by you alone. Hello and welcome to GROOMSINGMUSING with Tully. I am 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 Tully. On this episode of GROOMSINGMUSING, I will be shaving. And I sang Betty Boop. Oh, yes. I love that song. And we will be talking about the sun is now in Aquarius, which is amazing because the heavens above are pouring forth much more than ever before at this time. And if you think about Aquarius rules the outer atmosphere, the thin film, the boundaries, the peripheries of all that can be known. I hear an aeroplane. Bless you, aeroplane. And if you think about the earth from that perspective, we are all one. We see land masses and water bodies on this beautiful sphere, or flat disk, or hollow earth, or whatever you choose to believe, because it doesn't really matter. Aquarius shows us that there's infinite points of view and infinite possibilities, so we must rise, do not fall. Aquarius offers us the axis of utopia, dystopia. And dystopia is what you see on TV, because that's what they like to show on TV and movies, usually. And dystopia is very dark and depressing, hopeless humanity. It's very, very blah. But utopia, on the other hand, is where what I'm choosing to anchor, because we all have a choice. Thought, action, and deed, we have a choice. Always a choice. Even if we don't think, we have a choice. We can choose to walk away. For we have free will, which perhaps is an Aquarius gift as well, seeming how Aquarius rules over, Uranus, or Uranus, or Uranus, whatever you want to call it, rules over the higher mind. Uranus offers humanity the higher mind, the ability to rise above the mortal mind. Oh, I hear a rooster. Cock-a-doodle-doo. And I wanted to talk about revelations, because at this time there are many revelations happening, because Uranus rules Aquarius, and Aquarius Sun is raining down upon us all higher mind, the capacity to tune into what's really going on, truth, the ultimate, purest, highest truth. is offered by Aquarius and Uranus. They're very globally focused, humanitarianism, consciousness raisers. The thing with Aquarius, though, is that in one-on-one interpersonal relationships, Aquarius does not have much of a place. Leo, the opposite sign of Aquarius, is ruled by the sun, and the sun is the self, the individuality. And opposite Aquarius, so we have the self, individuality, and Aquarius is the collective and the atomic self. And the reason why Aquarius sun is detrimented, because the sun rules Leo, opposite in Aquarius, it is detrimented. Rulership. Anyways, it's not in a very happy place, because how can the self be expressed in an ocean of 10 billion-ish people? This is insanity. Somebody told me once that the maximum capacity for Earth is 500 million humans. And we have oh my God. Anyways, we won't go there because we're talking about revelations. So please, I encourage you to open yourself to the divine, for endlessly, the heavens are raining down upon us. If you think about the surface of water as the periphery between happiness and sadness, light and dark, for we live in a polarity universe. And that ocean, that periphery, oil and water, that separation is the heart. So if we can stay in our hearts, we have command over the universe. Revelations. So open yourself, right? Endlessly, the heavens are raining down upon us. Merriment, joy, freedom, truth, beauty, enlightenment, higher thought, wisdom, poetry, the arts. Oh, the wonderful spirits. But, in our dystopian world, we're too busy talking about sickness. We're too busy looking at our phones and not connecting to our inner worlds and embracing our shadows to realize the light within. And, it's a very dystopian place. But the beauty of free will is that I don't have to be a part of that garbage. And you don't either. Because our choices and our actions and our words are what allow us to rise and shine and sing and make choices that honor our inner selves instead of ignoring and neglecting our inner selves. And Aquarius is the symbol for Aquarius. There you go. So I don't really have the ability to show you that right now, but it usually looks like one lightning bolt above another, and then, but it can also be water, the waters of consciousness. Many people perceive of Aquarius to be a water sign because it is the water bearer, but it is bearing the waters of consciousness, the waters of enlightenment, which we all have access to. And generally speaking, in large communities and cities, the astral sea, the collective ocean we are all swimming in, is very highly polluted. Even in a large household, the astral sea can be pretty polluted. And the problem is that we need to remember to tune into higher wisdom. Always let your conscience be your what? Your guide, right? Are you being guided by the lower nature of humanity, which is Saturn, which is fears, restrictions, limitations, tribal consciousness, and roots? Ancestors and all who came before us, God bless them. Is establishment. Saturn is establishment. It establishes, it civilizes, whatever that means. And so Saturn also rules Aquarius, which is such a contradiction because Saturn likes to concretize. Saturn condenses energy into matter and then You have Uranus, which like is explosive, electric, eccentric, rebellious, which is what you'll see as we go, because I'm going to use my, I don't know if I can show products, but this product is amazing. You should use it. It's green mascara, and I put it on my eyebrows, my eyelashes, my facial hair. But first I have to shave. And I said 15 minutes because I talked for 3 hours the last time, and I just don't know. I'm trying to get to the essentials, right? So Aquarius. Aquarius. Very contrary. Contrary Aquarius. Oh, so nice. Self-care. What will you do today for self-care? Because the problem is that we keep going, and that's not really a problem. But the problem is that, you know, our nails keep growing, and our hair keeps growing, and our mouth gets disgusting, and that's why we have to brush our teeth, and wash our face, and comb our hair, and clip our nails, because, you know, we don't have to, but you know, you lean too heavily into Saturn when you neglect yourself that way, and the negatives of Saturn too. For cleanliness is next to godliness, as we well know. And I'm not saying by any means that I'm perfect, because I haven't shaved clearly in a very long time. But, you know, forgiveness and mercy and grace and other heavenly gifts that Uranus and the Sun in Aquarius are raining down upon us. So please look up from your phone. Perhaps smash it into little pieces. That's a bit of an extreme, perhaps, but you know, there's life that has existed since the dawn of time, and what has happened to humanity is so recent. And we do not have the capacity. We are simple people. We are simple beings. We need love. We need food, we need water, we need to be touched. And then, but like now we need phones, and we need to pay bills, and we need to have a job, and we need to, you know, shave our face. Like what's going on here, right? But don't forget that you are still wild. There's a part of you that's always wild, and that is Pisces and Neptune, which is what we're going to be going through next. So Capricorn, which we just had the festive season, helped us, the Sun in Capricorn helped us to anchor our energies, to establish, right? Put your roots in, right? Just go deeper, put your roots in, right? And you can bring in more light, and you will shine more light, and more wonder will come into your world. And I can attest to that for sure. And, now we're in Aquarius, so we've established ourselves. So now we're going to open our frightened eyes and realize, oh, hey, it's a new world. It's a new year. It's a new sun sign. So, yeah. Look up. Look up. The heavens are endlessly raining down, but at this time it's especially magical. And remember that you are loved much more than you've ever been led to believe by a dystopian society, which is only really in existence because of ignorance. And Aquarius will have none of ignorance. Aquarius is the enlightener, the awakener. Wake up. You have the capacity to shine a lot more brightly than you are, right? Don't get trapped down in the ego, because we're all going to die one day, and there's so many people, and there's so many points of view. And when you get to this height of Aquarius, which we all have within us, we all have all the signs and all the planets. When you get to the height of Aquarius, for you, you can live in utopia. Because when you start to rise at least into the heart, once you go above the heart, you start to realize that there's a lot more beautiful things in this world than we are told. And a lot of them, if not all of them, come from the heart and joy and pleasure, right? Venus, the goddess, which we all have within us as well, right? Libra and Taurus are ruled by Venus. But we're talking about Aquarius. I shall not digress. Aquarius is rebellious and revolutionary. Aquarius is quirky and eccentric. I like to associate neon and fluorescent colors with Aquarius because Aquarius just is so bold and dynamic, and humanitarianism is big for Aquarius. You know, making sure everyone's taken care of, because dystopia is where we're coming from, right? And utopia is where we're heading to. And sometimes along the road, we gotta help each other up if we've fallen down. And I can say a sincerest thank you to all of those people who are watching this, who have helped me in any way. I greatly appreciate it, because my life has been a hard, rocky road. But I'm rising and I'm shining and I'm choosing to embrace a new day with hope. I'm just so grateful God woke me up today, that I'm just so grateful, and it's reflecting in my outer world now. I'm seeing a lot more to be grateful for, because you just got to get the ball rolling. And if you fall off the ball, that's okay. Just get up and try again, because the other choice to not getting back up on the ball is a life of wallowing in misery and suffering, and neglecting to do things for yourself that are so easy to do, but you just can't bring yourself to do them, right? So get up on the ball. And what is the ball? The ball is a magical ball. It contains divine light, divine love, and divine power in harmony. Utopia. For I once heard that love and power without wisdom can be very ineffectual. Wisdom and power without love can be very destructive. And wisdom and love without power is helpless. And there are all of these types on this planet right now. The helpless, the overpowered, underhelpful, uncaring, and, you know, the wild, right? We are all part wild. You have to remember that. You have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand in our way. You have to believe we are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. And if all your hopes survive, destiny will arrive. Bring all your dreams to life, for you have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand in our way. You have to believe we are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. And if all your hopes survive, destiny will arrive. Bring all your dreams to life, for you, for you. Stay in the light, keep your target in sight. Don't listen to fools on the run. Stay in the light, keep your target in sight. Don't listen to fools on the run. Stay in the light, keep your target in sight. Don't listen to... Wow, that's cracked. Don't listen to fools on the run. And Aquarius can tell you what a fool on the run is, perhaps. Somebody who comes into your life, wags their finger at you disapprovingly, gives you advice with no possible relevance to your life that may or may not help you. Maybe reprimand you again and leave. It's the fool on the run. Don't listen to them. Don't base your worth off them in any way. Your worth comes from within and shines outward. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Right? Because love is pleasure and love is joy and happiness. Love is not hard, right? So if you go and you kick love, love's going to suffer. But is kind, because that's the nature of love. Love will always just be kind. So if you're suffering out there and you are kind, you know, maybe work on boundaries, you know, I don't know, unsolicited advice, I don't know. That's a tricky thing because, you know, you want to help people because you have a caring heart. But the thing is you could actually be doing more harm than good. Ooh, and the sirens are calling me to howl, excuse me. Woo! That may seem strange, but to me, ambulances are I'm very grateful for them because they have helped me in many traumatic situations. And, well, I shouldn't say many traumatic situations, but, so I give a howl of thanksgiving from the very root of my soul, because tears express things that words never can. And a howl, well, that's just a whole bunch of tears that can't come out. So if you're emotionally constipated, as I once was, I encourage you to howl from your heart. Just sincere gratitude to your very existence. And you'd be amazed what can happen. The power of the utterance. Yeah. So Aquarius, you know, everything has its positives and negatives, of course. So Aquarius is, on the negative, offers us dystopia, which is, well, I'll sing a little song that will help, a part of a song that will help make it make sense. It's called The Age of Aquarius by the Fifth Dimension. You may have heard of it. So Aquarius offers harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods or derision, golden living dreams and visions, mystic crystal revelations, and the mind's true liberation, Aquarius. Right? So what is derision? What does it mean to be derisive? It means to take somebody's dignity away from them in the sake of humor is a form of derision. Or perhaps you could say enjoying a wounded ego is the cause of derision, because the wounded ego needs to make people feel less than they do so that they can feel like they're the better one, right? But that's so disgusting, people. We gotta stop doing that. So no more derision, no more falsehoods, right? What is falsehood? It is appearing benevolent when one is actually malevolent. You know what, malevolent people? You exist, and you always have existed. And there's no shame, right? Maybe we ask to meet in the middle, in harmony, and respect of boundaries, respect of dignity, and we can all coexist on this planet. The carnivores and the herbivores and the omnivores, right? It's a terrifying world that they're showing us on television, right? Programming. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Your regularly scheduled program. Well, you know what? We can program ourselves, and we've had that capacity long before television. We can read books. We can go out in the world and be helpful and useful. You know? What are we doing? 25 minutes. Okay. I guess that's more than 15 minutes. Sorry. So let's talk about higher virtues. Courage, justice, mercy, generosity, faith, nobility, hope. These are the codes of honor of a knight. And what is a knight? A knight of the realm serves to uphold these: courage, justice, mercy, generosity, faith, nobility, hope. And I don't know if you knew, but I'm thrice knighted. I have been knighted 3 times in my life, and none of them were of my, all of them were of my choosing in to receive them, but I never expected any of those. Yeah, that's a whole nother story though. But courage, justice, mercy, generosity, faith, nobility, hope. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Generosity of spirit. Letting someone be wrong and not correcting them because of their misperceptions. Because they will find the truth in their own time. If we all try to wind all our webs together, we get a big tangled wad of web. And that is not necessarily fun to untangle, unless you know the magic. Then it's really fun to untangle, because freedom is probably one of the greatest offerings of Aquarius. Mental freedom from mental slavery. And what is mental slavery? It has nothing to do with anybody but yourself. Has nothing to do with anybody but yourself. All the conspiracy theories out there may or may not be true, but you are the only thinker in your mind, says Louise Hay, God bless her. And we are the only thinkers in our own minds, and nobody can think for us, and we can make choices. We can make healthier choices. Please listen to Louise Hay. And Abraham Hicks has also helped me greatly, and Nevolution on YouTube has also helped me mind-blowingly with all these wonderful revelations. Florence Scovel-Shinn and Neville Goddard, bless their souls, and all the wonderful people who are and are not remembered have contributed to the divine mind. And we all have access to the divine mind, regardless of what they may tell you. And it's not even what they may tell you, it's yourself. You can grow, you can learn, you can become, you can continue, you can blossom, you can ever bloom. You are ever blooming, and you happen in this time to have flesh. Flesh is your fruit of your ever bloom, and fill it with love because you made it, right? The sperm and the egg came together, and then once the soul comes in, I don't know about that, however that works, the first organ to develop is a heart. And from the heart, everything else forms around it, right? And you are continuously making yourself. Unconsciously, that's the thing, is we have the conscious, and we have the unconscious, right? Things we are consciously aware of, things that appeal more to our unconscious, right? And the thing is that we can be so consciousness driven that we forget about unconscious and subconscious and hidden realms of ourselves where things get stuffed and fester. That's where a healer comes in. There are many wonderful healers in this world. Be sure that you listen with your heart and your conscience to find the right one for you. And yes, so we all have choices, and we can avoid mental slavery. because we don't have to listen to the angel and the devil on the shoulder, or the angel and the devil, whatever you have for you. The angel is Jupiter, your conscience, saying, oh, if you do this, good will come to you. And then the devil is Saturn, and the devil says, if you don't do this, you'll be afraid, or you better do this, or fear will attack, right? We all have both. We have always had both, probably since the beginnings of time, right? But we have choice, right? So we can say to Saturn, you know what? You say I've not done good enough here, but this is what I've done. I put my heart into it, and that's all that matters. And nobody got hurt, and all is well, right? And then that devil that we've been feeding gets smaller and smaller, and then poof, right? If it can poof at all, I don't know. But the angel, right, will always lead you to your highest good and your greatest joy and your glory and your success and your happiness and your fulfillment if you'll listen to your conscience. And whatever that means to you, because, you know, we're all different, and maybe some people can't access their conscience, or maybe they don't know, right? But it starts by going within your heart. So if you're more of a Saturn nature, come up into your heart. If you're more way out here in Jupiter land, imagination, intuition, the creative abstract thinking abilities of humanity are fascinating, and they can pull us way out into our daydreams, right? But if we can come into our bodies, present in our precious sacred vessels, into our hearts, into your heart, right? Saturn people come up into your heart, Jupiter people come down into your heart, and that is where the magic is. That's where the magic happens. 31 minutes. Okay, I think that's good. So let's see. I groomed. Thank you for participating in this self-care, because I really want to do more of it, because, oh, that's what I was saying. You made yourself. You know, you're unconsciously shedding cells, you're unconsciously generating cells. And if you think of yourself as a sponge and your cells are pure and clean, right? What is your sponge holding? Is it holding fear? Because if you're holding a lot of fear, hatred, malice, anger, resentment, jealousy, envy, if you're holding these things in your sponge, you're going to generate your cells of your body off of this, or rather degenerate or mutate or pervert your cells, right? But that's a choice, right? And you may think, how can I not be envious when all these feelings are swarming around inside of me and I viscerally feel them? But the thing is you go to your heart, and that takes time and practice, because the periphery between the inner and the outer world is very thin, although it feels thick and frightening because the shadow is in there. But if your shadow is blessed with only your love, then there's nothing to fear, and it is a pure, dark, clear, magical source of yin, the ability to let go and relax and go within and retreat and just fill yourself with your divine gratitude for even your very existence. If you like ice cream, a lot of people do, you know, that's something that can evoke a feeling of gratitude. Like, wow, I exist in a time with ice cream. Wow. Or perhaps you could say, wow, I exist in a time of soy ice cream. Wow, I exist in a time where I can contribute to the ease of suffering on this planet of all conscious life in all 8 directions above and below by choosing plant-based options. Interesting, right? And that's another thing, is meat tends to have a grosser, denser energy to it, right? So your physical vessel becomes grosser and denser, but your spiritual vessel, which simultaneously inhabits it, there's like a distortion a bit, perhaps. But, you know, if you stay in your heart, none of that matters, because the heart is the balancer. The heart beats eternal life and joy and pleasure through your veins, right? And we have like endocrine glands, and wowee, I encourage you to read about those, because those are fascinating. And we have lymphatic system. We have all these things that just naturally work in our bodies, and if we work for us in our bodies, and if we can stay in our hearts with gratitude and forgiveness, right? Realizing that people make mistakes, realizing that people don't even process reality accurately in these times, right? Don't let that in to torment you, right? Stay in your heart and fill your aura with love and breathe and just be the light and the love and the power and harmony, and you'll be amazed at what wonderful things come to you and through you in your life. And choose heavenly thoughts, right? What are heavenly thoughts? Well, love, respect, honesty, courage, wisdom, truth, humility. There will always be people better than you, and there will always be people not as good as you. And if you lord it over them that they're not as good as you because it makes you feel good, that's going to attract some pretty rough roads for you. And if you look to the people who are better than you and resent them because, oh, why can't I do that? Why can't I just do that? Because it takes time and practice. And you've heard that before, but it's the truth, right? But most importantly, it takes love. A lot of people that are very, very good at things in this world are very good at them because they love what they do. And I know you hear that a lot too. You gotta love what you do, but it's truth. And truth cannot be denied. Truth is electric. Truth will zap all untruths. And when you hear an untruth, and when you say an untruth, there's a part of the human anatomy that doesn't know whether it's a truth or not. But there's a part of the human anatomy that knows what is true and what is not true. The human anatomy, they say we use 10% of our brains, right? Well, perhaps the other 90% are in the unconscious, subconscious levels. And our choice to believe that we are free and that we are safe and that we are loved and that we are provided for. And it is because what we offer comes back to us. And yes, you've heard this before, but now I'm telling it to you again because the Aquarius Sun is raining down divine consciousness and awakening it and the energies that support the blossoming of consciousness in blooming the desert. We have to bloom the desert, people. And we can make it beautiful and lush and green again, right? Because in the faith and face of divine light, all the truths are revealed. The ugliness melts away. You know, the person who snaps at you all the time lost a loved one and they're drowning in their grief. But all we see from outside, because that's the tricky thing about life, is we're seeing from the inside and we're seeing from the outside. And a lot of people can't grasp that paradox. And mirror work, bless you Louise Hay, is very important for that. Because you can see the facial expressions you make, and you might be appalled at what you see. Oh my gosh, do I make that face all the time? All you do is go in the mirror and pretend like maybe talk to somebody on the phone or talk to yourself as though you'd be amazed at what sees. Like, I have a lot of eyebrow movement, but I don't really see that from within myself. And my voice is really deep inside of me, but when I hear it outside of me, it's not as deep, right? And so many wonderful adventures in consciousness, people, and it's only just begun. It's only just begun. But it's been happening perhaps like this for all of time and space, the cycles of up and down, left and right. But it's just, I could talk forever, I could. So if you appreciate this, please let me know, because I would like to gather a group of people who really appreciate this, and then we can really shine and have some amazing conversations. A lot of people can't get into this, and that's okay, because I'm one of 10 billion-ish perspectives and points of view on this earth, and I'm fully aware that there are going to be at least a couple billion people who don't like me, but there'll be a couple billion people who do, and I can't appeal to that. That's too much, because we're all just tiny consciousnesses that are trying to grow. And then you think about, like, the physical consciousness is the slowest of all, and you've heard that before. I've told you 1,000 times, and they usually say it in quite a reprimanding way. But the thing is like, sometimes parts of us need to be told 10,000 times, a bazillion times before it begins to register and make sense, and that's okay. So don't beat yourself up for being slow, and don't not try, because you feel like you can't do it or you're too slow, because you just find a way that works for you. Audiobooks are great. Videos are great. I can't really sit and read a book very easily. My mind just doesn't work that way. But if I can listen to something, it comes into me easier. And that's okay, because everybody's just doing the best they can. So please remember that when you go out into your world. Please remember that everyone is doing the best they can, even if they're making poor choices that cost other people their lives. Unfortunately, that's the best they could do. And that's why if we stay in our hearts as we go forward now, if we stay in our hearts, the magic happens, right? We feel supported around people who stay in their hearts. And if we can stay in our hearts, then we can help others feel supported. And it's such a beautiful feeling to know that you're creating a supportive world, right? Utopia manifests. It's here now. It's here now. It always has been and always will be. Phasing in and out of dimensions with dystopia, right? But if we can all stay in our hearts and hum to the light our gratitude, right? Then the ocean stills. And then the flowers can come out. If you're still in a park, you may notice the birds come out and land and come around you. But if we're frantically spinning our auras around in savage distrust and anguish and suffering from the choices and our comebacks and comeuppances and reparations, it's all so much. But if you just stay in the heart, if we just stay in our hearts, because we're all in this together, stay in our hearts, we can make it through. And I'll leave on a song. Always remember, you are loved more than you have ever realized. It's quite uncanny how much love we have offered to us from the heavens at all times, from the heavenly bodies pouring down endlessly. 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 If we hold on together, I know our dreams will never die. Dreams see us through till forever, as clouds roll by. For you and I, souls in the wind must learn how to bend, reach for a star. That's associated with Aquarius. Hope, the star. Hold on till the end. Live your story. Faith, hope, and glory. Hold to the truth in your heart. If we hold on together, I know our dreams will never. Well, there I go, knocking things over. But such is life. You take the good, you take them bad, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. There's a time you've got to go and show you've grown, and now you know about the facts of life. The facts of life, when the world never seems to be living up to your dreams. You turn around and there you find the facts of life are all about you. You, all about you. It takes a lot to get around when you're learning the facts of life. But keep going, learning the facts of life. You'll make it. The facts of life. Wow. I'm not one of the greedy kind. All of my wants are simple what's on my mind. I'm not resting until I find what would make your eyes glisten with joy. Now listen, big boy. I wanna be loved by you, just you, and nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you, alone, boo boo be doo. I wanna be kissed by you, just you, and nobody else but you. I wanna be kissed by you alone. Self-care goes a long way. Yay.